Now, there are mixed reactions to Britain's highest court ruling that only biological and not trans women meet the definition of a woman under equality laws. The landmark decision has been slammed by trans supporters and organizations, but welcomed by some quarters, including the government. To unpack the implications of this ruling, let's bring in Professor Amanda Gous, who is a gender specialist from the Stellenbosch University. Professor Gous, a very good evening to you and welcome. I guess let's start with the implications of such a ruling in Britain.
Well, I think what this now means is that a woman can only be called a woman if she was born woman and that has been certified as on her birth certificate. And so what this means is that it takes us back to the biological and take us away from gender as a construct. Now, this was a big campaign in England and specifically Scotland, in which, for example, J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, was very central in this campaign because women were feeling that they are not protected in spaces where trans women are also allowed.
In the South African context, where do we lie with our laws when it comes to the definition of a woman?
Well, we have not picked it at the biological, and I mean we have equality laws, but it makes the argument that we are all equal before the law, regardless of, for example, race and other markers of identity. And I think what spurred this law is the argument that trans women, for example, and now I'm talking about Britain, is that women are allowed in spaces that should be safe spaces for women who have not been men. So trans women are men who have changed to women. So, and this is about toilet facilities. It's about competing with trans women in sport. It's about having trans women in jail. And so the whole issue of trans, and I think a lot of what we see now is also because of what is happening in the USA, where President Trump has said that there are only two genders, is forcing this issue to the fore and arguing that the women, and specifically Women for Scotland, has argued that they need the protection of the law, and the law needs to define what a woman is. And we know that in the past, when some people have said that, for example, Chimamanda Adichie, that trans women are not women, there's been a huge outcry about that because it makes that argument that you can only be a woman if you were born a woman.
Now, Prof, there have been a lot of strides that have been made in the sector of gender as a construction and, of course, as a construct. And, of course, when it comes to trans women as well, we have seen what's also happening in the United States, as you've just mentioned, with Trump's views when it comes to that and the special orders that he has, executive orders that he's also put in place when it comes there. With what's also going on in Britain, do you see this having a trickle-down effect on other countries and also our country?
Well, I think that South Africa, we've always been very careful, and our constitution say that, equality, and that includes sex and gender. But we also have strong feminist activists in South Africa, and we have strong LGBTIQ queer activists who have championed the cause of trans women, because if we look at the statistics, trans women are actually a very small percentage of women. And so it is a big outcry about a very small percentage of women. But I do think, given the very I would say, reactionary political conditions that we live in at the moment, this may have an impact, and specifically in countries where they're already very strong what's called anti-gender ideology. So this is a backlash against, feminist ideas of equality, queer ideas of equality, and people who make this argument, especially on the right side of the political spectrum, that, you know, we have to go back to family values, and the family is the nuclear family, mother, father, and here we talk cis heterosexual and children, and that anything else is an aberration of that. So what it does, it takes us back decades of feminist struggle to get equality for people who are gender fluid. And gender fluidity is real. It is not as though there are only this binary of men and women. And so we've had a lot of victories in the past decades. And now this is all being rolled back. And we see that it is strongest now in the United States, in Eastern Europe, and now we see it's happening also in Western Europe.
Professor Gous, thank you so much for your time. That is, of course, Professor Amanda Gous. But for now,